That's
So
okay.
I believe recording is on. So I would like, first of all, just to welcome you, your friends and your colleague, and also your leadership. And now it's going to be just, again, more than welcome to get feedback on anything you have seen. Most of my work, just this is, again, out of colleague speech. I like the interactive in the workshop. So I will start sharing my screen with you. Please let me know if you see my screen. Now, do you see my screen, Vishal?
Yes, I can see the screen. No problem.
Okay, good. I'm trying just to stream it. Okay, that's lovely. So first of all, again, good morning from Classcipe, and we hope that this session will carry for you a brief and a lot of international experience with all of these expertise and all of our colleagues, which you will enjoy them today. Our motto is, as you see, empowering, sharing, and networking, and this is what we believe, that sharing is caring. So today, before I start, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Nael Hamamra, and you can call me Nick. I know some of my friends from different cultures, they have hard pronunciation of the E letter, so just feel free to call me Nick. Today, our work will be mostly on bilingual, since I myself speak 3 languages, and I love this field so much. So I will start our work by saying that bilingual strategies is one of our 2021 or the 21st century skills, which all educators need it, all leadership, I will say all successful people should evaluate and understand that. We will go through some goals. I know it's not everything we can cover today, since we have just a very limited time and strict time. However, feel free by the end of the session either to drop your questions in the textbook, or just you can raise and ask any of your questions. Now, I will set some goals. We hope that we will be able to cover them all. If not, I will be more than also happy and glad to share these resources with you. So welcome again for a self-taught and for collaborative learning strategies with each other. Okay, so the first goals, the set of goals, which we hope that we will cover by speaking about bilingual strategies, we will define them, of course, later. Now, the definition of bilingual or multilingualism, we will also try to share the knowledge on how we create teaching and learning effective environment within this strategies. Also, we will go and share together based on our work. Let me just admit some of our colleagues. Okay, welcome in, Mr. Saleh. So I will also try to have like more of that on the bilingual strategies that we need them in education, and that will be very, of course, it will be great also to listen from you within we have different subjects, because what might be useful with sciences could be different with mathematics or with arts or with literature. The third one will be implementing common bilingual education skills or models in the classroom, the most in common. Then we will share the effective strategies, again, which we try to use both of us. And by the end of the day, we will try together to design most of the activities which could help all of us together within one of our sessions. So now I would like to start by playing a very productive work, which is by sending you the link in the chat box. So I need you to fill in, to open the link and follow the instructions. It's very quick, easy to break the ice to see how many languages you speak, guys. Okay, so I'm gonna be sending you the link. I don't know if this link is at your place is working. However, I'll be just giving you that link immediately in the chat box. There is it. I had to stop sharing so I can send it. Please join the link and fill in your instructions, your information. All what you need to do is, there should be 3 languages. Answer the question from the one which you have had seen it. How many languages do you speak? When you finish your words, you just submit them. Vishal, if you can hear me very well, I need you just, when you go to the link, okay, just write them. Now,
right.
to be honest, since you are alone, the aim from that one is to highlight it the most in common, you know, because when we have multi participants here, they start both. Then in this technique, okay, or in this link which I sent it to you, it should appear together. Okay, I will share again the link with you.
Right. I think.
All what you need to do is just again is only filling these languages, then make submit.
All right. Okay, great. Got it.
Also, this is out of sharing. This is a good and a great platform where educators, they can use it again with either for the exit plenary with the students just to check their learners that they know, or just for the common out learner objective, or to start. So I use it sometime to start because I want to see the common things in between the students or my learners. So when you open this link, it will take you directly to a page. You just fill in the 4 places where you write your answers to the question, then submit this one.
Okay, now I've written the answer and
scroll down. There is the submit. Okay.
Okay, right.
I think I gave you only 4 choices, so you can just have them.
Oh yes, I think yes. So
you just submit.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll just take it done. Okay.
Okay. Meantime, I would like to take this chance to welcome our colleagues and the new participant, Mr. Saleh. You're welcome. And apologies if I mistake by misspelling the name. So feel free just to correct me, guys. We again, all of others here, just some time to learn from each other. So welcome again. And in the chat box, you will find a link. Please click the link, and that will guide you for a place where you need to fill in how many languages you speak. Just fill in how many languages in each box, then just submit, so we can all, by the end of the day, see those here, which will highlight and start the working. You submit, Mr. Vishal.
Yeah, I think I did. Let me put it again.
If it didn't work, I can send you just again the link again for our new colleague.
Yes, I think I
for the new colleague, here is the link again. You can use the link again here. Okay, the second one. That will lead you directly. You don't need any username or password. Just to click in the link and it will show you immediately. Welcome, Abrana. I hope I'm saying the correct name.
Hi, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. How are you? You good? Hope you are enjoying a good day.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. So I'm just trying to, it's not opening for me, the URL which you just shared.
Okay. No, okay. Just open the link. You need to open the link. Okay. And to write the languages which you are using or which you are speaking, there will be 5 boxes. Okay. Just write the languages which you are just speaking.
Yes, sir.
I can see Mr. Vishal answered 5. So this means 5 languages. Am I right? Lucky you.
That's right. Fluently 5, survival 4. So that takes me to 9. That's all right.
That's great. Now I speak only 3, and I think this is, you know, something. When you get a lot of language, it means it's a key for everything, and this is one of the key features which we would like. Yeah, Hindley and English. That's great. Okay, so let me just again jump to the next slide where we would like just to continue our work. And again, I believe in each languages, either if you speak 5, 9, or 3, or whatever, we know that there is a general skills that we need ourselves to master, to understand, so we can be able again to contact and communicate with others. The basics are very easy. We all as teachers know them. There is the input and there is the output. So what I call is the listening, as you can see in this one. The listening is the input if I want to have a correct speaking input. The same for the reading. It's the input for the skills which needs to focus on the writing and this stuff. And when it comes to the output, it goes as a writing. So whenever I have a reading skills, a very great reading skills, ability to understand and to see, and also to monitor all the skills which I need, we will display later, for reading, that will reflect that my writing is the perfect or in a perfect way that can show for my students or my learner. So again, sorry, if me as a learner, or sorry, as an educator, if I don't have those appropriate skills, or I don't have the way how to teach or to deliver these 21st century skills for my learner, it will end up that there is like no mutual area or common interest area or a green area, I will call them comfortable zone area, while I'm delivering my information. Because by the end of the way, teaching or learning and educational system, I would say it's a two-way pathway track for you and for the learners. Because those, if they are not gonna go a great one, it will have or end up with a clashing. So the basic language skills, which we call them BLS, are to input, to output. Now, when we move to speak about something, now these are basic, even for illiterate, even for the kid which is still can't understand or write any letters. However, when we go for the basic interpersonal communication skills, those are more academic work. The more academic work, we all understand and value the fact that me as a reader, okay, I should have the intercept and also the whole recipes of common knowledge terminology, which, for example, the mathematics teachers need, or which the chemistry teacher needs, or which the language literature, when he teach Shakespearean ages, novels or plays needs. So there are some certain academic now knowledge and work regarding to the language terminologies needed for us to have or to provide the our students in the classroom work. Now, basically we call them either BICS, and those are the everyday how we just like get them, those by a lot of strategies, which I also say that the teacher themselves are part of that one, how they can enforce these skills to ensure that the knowledge of the students, they have those step by step or receive them a dose by dose. So those goes with like circular, bigger and bigger, till they serve the higher purpose of the schools or the education center where they go for the graduation work. Since we speak all about the 21st century and we are aiming toward self-learners, like long life learner, okay, this is what we aim toward the 21st century, the long life learner, and those students who need to be, which is after school learner, they need to have all these skills, either from the authenticity, either from the academic honesty, even from just having the genius and that sprang within themselves. We need to understand that our everyday language as educator, our terminology, which we are enforcing them to use in our classes, will help to ensure them just having that kind of knowledge. So if I myself as educator, I don't have my dictionary, okay, in front of them, I'm not gonna be that one who will drag them again for that kind of learning or teaching. Again, why I always say learning and teaching, because it's a two-way, as we said. So there should be kind of work which we need, again, some time to connect to the real life situation, where that will drag the attention of the students or the learners for our work. So if you can see the dimensions of languages in front of you, they have the basics, which we just mentioned before, and we have the academic, okay, the learners, which we need them, the proficiency for them. Now look for both of them in a very quick, I will say that the basics, they can get it from everyday playground or from their family or from their peers, but not in school, that before school. So that's why it's not academic for us. It gives them slang language, daily language, but it's not the specific terminology which I need. So normally, again, that means that it doesn't relate to my terminology when they come to my mathematics. Again, that should be, again, within the first, second, 2, 3 years within or depends on which year you send the kids to school. Now, if we go for the cognitive or for the academic language of proficiency, this is what we aim, and we clash sometimes with the smartest students, okay, but either regarding to some a course or regarding to some of the let me say reasons, this student does not have the fair enough basic language just help that person to cope with my subject. And here comes our responsibility as a teacher on how to work with these students. Now, let me say harder yet, I'm not going to say worse, harder yet, because I always believe as educator, we don't have obstacles. And I hate to say it's obstacles, I will say it's challenges, okay? Because whatever we can see, it's still a challenge in a way or in another. We are there in a place where we are trying to push these students to get the limits out of their capability. And that's why me and you, we will help just to know how we can come over a bilingual classroom, a multilingual classroom. It doesn't need to be by instruction, but sometimes by culture, by the background, by the language, by the native language where they are coming from. We will speak in more details in the next slide. Now, so the academic language of proficiency, it's a classroom one. It's the textbook one. It's that which you enforce in your classroom. It's that when you give it for your students to learn by heart, even just to reread it, to rewrite it as a self-task. It's a project which you do it. Now, it needs a function or to function in dictionalizing setting. Yes, it needs. Because again, when you give him the task, it means that the students, he will go back to review, then come back to yourself. When you give him something, okay, go prepare it, he will go and gain at least 20% of the knowledge from the first view. You will leave him with inquiry-based question, start asking. Yes, that's it. That's the target. We need the students start asking. We need them to be knowledgeable, and we need them just again to know what kind of work they have. Now, require high level of reading and writing, yes, and attending like 5 to 7 years. That's true. It's depend on the work, depend of the specialty or majority of the work. Now, let's just go for a quick task. Please, you can use the chat box from your end and sorry, basically from your what we have said till the moment and what you can exclude. Okay, I want you just to let me know in a briefly, what do we mean by bilingualism and what do we mean by multilingualism? Okay, I'm gonna give you a minute or less than that. Please answer that in the chat box, okay? And I'll be with you in a minute. You have 1 minute, please. Thank you, Vishal. Yes. So bilingualism, it's two multi. Thank you. It's equal more than one. And thank you so much for that one. Sorry.
I think Nike, it's I think Aparna has got another message as well. I think multilingualism, she's saying multilingualism is the use of more than one language. That was the message, yeah. And also bilingualism is fluency in. I think Aparna, I'm getting the message directly from you. I think just go to the option and you may post it there to the whole group, no problem. It's very interesting.
Really sorry. I'm really sorry. Now,
no worries, no worries. That's okay. That's okay, that's okay.
Yeah,
no worries.
Yeah.
All right. It's very good point though.
But
very
I
good
think
point.
there is a very thin line between multi and bi because people
true.
might get confused. Yeah.
True. Absolutely.
That's true.
So,
That's true. Yes.
Aparna, can I just read out your messages to Nael? Is that okay?
Yes, okay, please.
Yes,
Okay,
sure.
lovely. So Nael, Aparna wrote, multilingualism is the use of more than one language. And on the second message, she has passed on that bilingualism is fluency in or use of two languages.
Thank you so much. So thank you so much. So this is briefly when we have that again as among our classes. Now, sometime, and thanks for the clarification, my colleague. Now, sometime in our work, what we have is that those students which we have, they have to enforce or they were enforced by one instruction language. However, when it comes for us, okay, for us as educator, it comes like we have only one instruction language in the class. We can't again allow sometimes more than an instruction language in the class, which make it very hard for myself again to use it. I will go back and share my screen so we can see that together. Okay, we will go to a quick video. I want you just to please to listen, then we will discuss it together. Please tell me if you can hear the voice.
There are a lot of languages in the world, and it's estimated that people who speak 2 or more of them outnumber single language speakers. In India, for example, many kids grow up with 2 or 3 of the country's 23 recognised tongues.
In the past, it was assumed growing up bilingual caused children to learn more slowly. Now, research suggests that the constant extra work the bilingual mind does in choosing between words, dog, chien, can enhance other brain activity, leading to better focus, multitasking and memory. Although not everyone's convinced.
There are even studies that show from a very young age, bilingual and multilingual children develop empathy more quickly. If true, could second languages help, say, some kids on the autistic spectrum?
By scanning the brains of students before and after learning languages, scientists have reported greater density in some grey matter. That's the bits that process information. Older bilinguals can also have more white matter, the brain's connections.
And it's in later life where bilingual benefits appear greatest.
Studies of Alzheimer's patients in India and Canada report symptoms appear in bilinguals 5 years later.
Their brain seems to cope better with the damage such diseases cause.
Learning when a child seems to offer the most brain advantages later in life. But older learners can benefit too. How much remains contentious. There's a lot of excitement and disagreement about the benefits of speaking 2 languages, but there is one definite plus. You can talk to a lot more people around the world.
Okay, thank you so much for watching. Now, a quick question for you. And again, I'm not going to use the Padlet just so we don't go for another one. I want you just please to drop in the chat box, basically based on your experience as a bilingual teacher or multilingual teachers or teachers who are speaking other than a language. Now, let's just state, as we have seen in this report, that there is advantages, disadvantages. I will start with the good and the fruitful aspect because I'm always optimistic with this one. Could you please tell me from your own experience, what are the advantages of having like bilingual educator or being a bilingual person by having more or than 2-3 languages within yourself? Just in the chat box, please drop your notes. Thank you, Tenzian. Thank you. Engaging all the learners. That's great. That's a great. Get different perspective. And this is valuable point. I thank you really so much for this point, because let me specifically speak here. Sometime if you don't know the other's background, that could lead you for a clash, for a point where you could just embarrass or break the students without even know that. Okay, so engaging the learners, yes, because that will give you a wider background, culture, and knowledge, where you can engage a lot of different things when we come to the numbers, to the odd numbers or to the even numbers. So when it comes to the colors, when it comes to the shaking issues, so these will give you and make you also avoid any of these ideas or situation that could lead you for like such a misunderstanding. Let's remember that we might sometimes cause a disadvantage without even feel for one of the learners because of an act we did it in a language or in a culture, we didn't understand it. And I shall let you know a funny story just after going with the point by visual. Vishal, he said, engage teachers themselves. And this is the one which leads me for the story, where me and my friends, we were in a workshop in UAE, in Abu Dhabi. And one of my friends is from the States. So he doesn't know that in the Emirates, like habits, they serve you with a coffee. And according to their traditional, you have to shake the cup. So it means that enough. And he doesn't know this. So every time you want to say thank you, he doesn't shake that. So the other gentleman, he refill it. Then he, out of shy, he just go back and drink it. Then by the end of the day, when we finish, he told him, by the way, the cup, I just hide it under the sofa because you kept full of that. And because he doesn't know that, again, that kind of college of, sorry, for his colleague, the kind of culture aspects could cause himself, hurt himself. So sometimes it's good for us to stand where we see the other's culture. So that's why there's a lot of schools which they have a lot of nationality. They make sure there is a week which is for the national week and the international week, where all of them, they can lead and display their folk, their traditions, their food, their speech, which again make and gain a knowledge for that one. Support culture, inclusion, and diversity, 100% I agree. So that's again what we were speaking. When we have that among our students, we lead them for sympathy, for being open-minded and accepting others. It doesn't mean that I always have to be the only one who's right. But if I take it from your ankle point of view, it should be the same right. Lead for both academic and behavior gains, 100%. Thank you so much for these, again, grateful addition which you have here. It just, those students now, they start to see out of the box. They start to see it's not just only me here in the universe. There's someone else in the other side. He thinks that, and I have to respect that. There is the knowledge, there is the way how I deal with it, but it doesn't mean that out of my environment, it's only me. Develop open-mindedness, yes, that's true, thank you. And many, many more others, which I will leave them by the end of the session in a group of links to provide you all with these things. And feel free again at any time to communicate with me so we can speak more. Now, let's say that sometimes could make challenges for myself, could make something I have to rethink. Nick, you're telling me these things, but when I'm a teacher, I have 25 students. Let's be factual a little bit. I don't have a time for all of that thing, just to take it into consideration while I have a lot of tasks, a lot of work, a lot. Let me make it easy. Give me one instruction language, one background, culture, class, and that's it. So there are a lot of implementation that should be taken into consideration from us as educator, again, while we are looking into these classrooms. Also, having those people will affect my classroom environment. We have to admit this fact, either affect me as a leader or affect again the students, because the students sometimes they learn by each other. There is the peer construction of the knowledge, the peer learning. So they could what? They could learn from each others. So just very quickly, what I wrote here, that the use of medium instructions will start to be what? For myself as educator, as a point of thinking. Now, that will be a good one. Yes, it should be a good one. Why? Because when I enforced one language, it means that now I am making all my students equal in the same place, having the same recipe of knowledge and sending them for the same end of learning outcome objective, which I need them. Now, at the same time, yes, we are, as we said, exploring multi-languages. When I have students from different culture and he's sharing with me his knowledge or his experience, as we said, regarding how we say the dog in Chinese, or how we say it in Arabic, or in French, or in Russian, or in Indian, okay, it gives you different aspects and adding more flavor to my class. Now, again, respect other cultures. Yes, that's true. Because when I heard my friend, how he's respecting his own or being proud of his own self-identity by using his own words and being proud, that will lead me to respect him. The same things, I'm helping him to be proud of his own self-culture, his own native language. Okay, again, remember, we could be in a different areas of the world. We could be the third culture kid, where my mom is from a country, my dad is from a different country, and I'm in a third country. It could be me and you from the same country, me and my wife are from the same country. However, when I moved and I start taught in Spain, my kids, they came with different sense of work. When I moved back and went to Russia, my kids, they now get a different dose from culture and a lot of things, these things. So when I help the students to be proud of his identity, being that kid to that mom and dad, and using his own culture, his own aspects, I'm not uprooting him. And this is necessary for us to know that there should be an identity for a person, because we don't want to end up by having a person with no identity. If you lose your campus, your identity, it means you will never know who you are. So first we should know who we are, then we can respect and appreciate how we will deal and the value of others. Now, that will again create awarenesses of language. That will make us critical thinking. And this is a great word. Critical thinking, we mean that we start to look to things from a different angle. We start to accept others because of their thoughts, because their thoughts might inspire me and make me, again, introduce me to a different kind of word, to a different kind of knowledge. Okay, now cross-language interactivity, that's true, where you can go for a supermarket or a hypermarket and you can find a shelf for this kind of food, a different food from a different country, and that will again take me exactly when you go to an international cuisine, to that hotel or to where you have an international recipes, you start just taste this and that, these there and those here, so you can find them from different respects. And that, of course, now with having all these media, it makes the world among or between our hands. The last one, which is the peer interaction. Let's keep in mind, sometime for us even, I won't say that it's hard, but it's easier. And myself, I use that in my daily classroom. Having students from different culture, use them, guys. Make them your right hammer, okay? Put these students with those students who are weak. This is a kind of differentiation. Give them the task and let them teach them. First of all, this is a kind of leadership skills you are teaching. Let me call them the strong guys, okay? And number two, you are encouraging those weak students to bridge the gap between them academically, number one. Number two, to get used that there is more than one resource of the knowledge. Number three, which is more important, it is important for you because now you make sure that this weak students or this weak learner, he's getting that kind of education in a way or another, because we don't want to end up that somebody behind. We never leave someone behind of us as educators. So there's a lot of other benefits. We can share them again by the end of the session. I will be focusing, to be honest today, on what classroom or what factors could play a significant role in designing a classroom, a unit plan, a lesson plan, a weekly plan, where we have these multilingual or different culture students in my class. Now, we are trying to planning effectively for our lesson. I will go for 4 major, okay, let me call them again strategies. These are myself, I use them too much. However, it's not the limit. We will go for the thematic instruction, the language development, collaborative learning, and the classroom organization. Now, starting by the thematic. Thematic one, it's all around the theme of the lesson. Since we are in a diverse classroom, in a diverse culture, in a diverse place, use them to build your unit, the theme, out of these multi-people. Let them be the real life learners and situation where you link them directly to your theme. So let's look to the end up result goal and see how can I use this figure, okay, how can I use this diverse and the diversity in knowledge, the diversity in language, and function this knowledge to my or toward my goal. So it brings all these pieces of knowledge which you need to them and give them the whole lead to the students. We will take example, okay? Now, let's go for teaching text style, okay? Let's imagine that you are a language teacher. I'm, for example, an English teacher or an Indian teacher or a Spanish teacher, and you want to teach them some kind of text style. So let's brainstorming our ideas on how we can get the lesson for that one. To gain the time, I will jump immediately to what I shaped with a different or with the previous class. Okay, then we can discuss it and see if it's really function at your area, yes or no. So your task is, when we see the next slide, okay, I want you just to think of it as if it really function with you, or you can build out of it. Now, again, remember, we are teaching a text style. I have a student. We are going to teach him or her how to write or how to construct the email or to construct the essay or the article, okay? So there is the input and there is the output. So when I have different students from different culture, I might request them, okay, or give them 3 different articles. Let's imagine it's article, 3 different articles, asking them find the common areas on how the setting of the article is built. So now they will start highlighting. One speak about the Dragon Festival in China, the other speak about, for example, the COVID-19, the third one is speaking about the atom bomb, okay? But it's built with the same layout, with different language or content. So the instructional activities in this classroom are integrated across the curriculum. Okay, so based on the theme. The theme was to teach them this article. Now these different instructional will lead them. At the beginning of the unit, children are asked to brainstorm topics of their interest. Either you ask them to bring a topic or you can give them the topic. From this list, the teacher plans this instructional lessons. In the lesson, the theme being studied, for example, in the sea life of danger. Note how during the various paragraphs in the text, teacher continually questioning the students about what they know and have learned of the sea life. So while you are reading this text or this article, you are trying to show them how they build the thesis, how they support the thesis, okay? Again, when you reinforce the information, when you move for the second, again, group, and those who are speaking, for example, about the atom bomb or about, for example, the COVID-19. Now, in this way, they are looking themselves to reinforcing and not reshaping. Be careful, because we already shaped it. To reinforce the knowledge, to make it latent and basically fully understood by them. You can have that differently according to the subject you taught. However, engaging their background, engaging their knowledge will lead you as adding questions, adding, I would say also just like the inquiry-based question, which lead the students to the target goal which you as educator plan for, okay? You will end up by having them constructing the whole layout, the whole introduction work, how they immediately use which convention tone, which audience. They already know the audience of their speech. the language and the tone which they needed for that kind of one, the contextual type of facts which they need to use to support their idea, the statistics, let's say supported details, okay, so which they needed. So whenever they explain and you are using these, you will find yourself build that work easily by just allocating their answers, which you already grab because you are the one who is leading them by giving them these questions. So remember, make your question is the lead, but don't make it as the instruction one. Okay, now the second one is, I will also say, the language development. Now we all know that by the end of the day, we as educator, we know that we need these students to have amount of ideas by their work. This amount of knowledge or these thoughts, it won't go without having those learners at least the basic and the solid kind of knowledge which they needed. Here it comes, me as a teacher, when I say about the teacher-supported material. The teacher supported, again, what? Activities. The teacher supported what? Even development, the confidence, the work with them. The goal of language development is to create a rich language environment in this classroom. Guys, what I used to do in my experience in Russia, since I went there, I never studied Russian before. I had the idea of writing a dictionary each time in my class to the top right of the board. I just write like the new English, which I just like feed them, not previously, but while I'm teaching. You know, guys, you know, I like this word, you know, water. What does it mean in Russian, you know? So we make it like a bing bong game between them regarding to these words. Now, I was curious enough and care enough to give them the words which I would like them to learn, okay? And it was also helpful and resourceful for myself, because I find myself starting with a notebook, writing the names of these words in my notebook. I end up the first semester learning a lot of vocab bank in myself. So try, if you have some students like that, or if you have different back area of students, just let them start writing this one. You might ask me, you know, what if they are all from the same country, or if they are, it's not international school, it's a national school. It's a school where we have all of them from the same country. Yes, I can still enforce that. How? Let me start using with them a game. Whoever is learning this, this is his target. This is target A, package A, or package B, or package C. And this is the bonus points, or this is the thing which you can get in front. For example, in my current room, in my current school, where we have all of them from the same background, how we cup over this one, we created a game room. And by giving the students amount of like bonus ticketing, okay, basically based on some activities we agreed on, the teachers as a language teacher, we agreed on the vocab, we agreed on the presentation, we agreed on some factors. We give these students this kind of ticketing, which he collect, and that will make the students eligible to move, to go and spend some free time for him or her in this game room. So it became that room like the hunt for the students. They wanna, it's their lust, they wanna just go play that PlayStation, or they wanna play and spend some time there. They wanna sit and get the coffee. It's just like a corner for them. And that was really the hunt for them where to go for that one. And there's a lot of other ideas where you can do it also in your classroom. So I say that like when children are expected to engage and talk about the theme, that will again give them enrich kind of terminology and give them more terminology than they need and expected. Now, the third one is the collaborative. We have mentioned before that sometimes the collaborative could be by students themselves. Now, in the 21st century, we could have them being individual self-taught learners. Give them the asynchronous policy. Create for yourself a policy that, guys, I have 5 classes a week. 4 of them, I'm gonna be lecturing you. The 5th, you will go home with the task. Tomorrow, every single student's gonna bring me either presentation, either sending me that on a way of article or on a way of report or in a grouper. I know that it's hard for us to follow, for example, a class of 20 students or 25 students, divide them into group. You will hit 2 birds in 1 stone. So first of all, you have a grouping, you have collaborating among them. Then you made sure that having 5 groups, for example, doing the task with themselves, planning for the class, give them the 30 minutes or the 20 minutes to review, to write, then to have one of them as a leader to present their work. Now you hit more than a bird in 1 stone. You made them collaborate toward the successful reason which you want. Most important, you now check with multi-samples in front of your eye, in front of the rest of the class, that there is more than 1 correct sample in a place. It's not only yours, the teacher who need to do the work, give it to them ready. That age is done. We are not gonna give them everything ready. They have to be independent to build their own self-confidence, of course, with your guidance, with your feeding them this information, as we mentioned before, but to support the sense of having them within a family, they will feel that, yes, this is the comfortable zone. Have them in groups. Have them in, again, let me go back for languages. Have them in different skills. Ask one group to come with the results as a presentation. However, the other as a debate. Meantime, the third, use the technology, guys. Sometimes students, they sit next to me as a teacher and teach me how to work this kind of videos. Use these things from their side. Let them be, give them the strength to be innovative, okay? Because they will aspire other students. So try to encourage between them conversation. This kind of classroom will help them. Even those who are behind or weak, they will be more than happy to collaborate with the students. He or she might be shy, just, or, you know, in front of the classroom or in front of you to ask you, okay? They will feel, you know, I'm being pulled by one of my friends. The pulling these days is because, you know, she's asking more than time, you know, blah, blah, blah. Okay, she will be disappointed or he will be disappointed. So try to bridge various learning with a newly constructed learning. Yes, now this is what we are doing. We are accomplishing the targets. Allow for participating time. Yes, when you give them the time by the end of the lesson to represent and you to evaluate eminently, immediately, having those in a board at the corner. Call it the English board, okay, or the English word. Give it some of your lovely pictures, okay? Share some of the students' pictures. And this group, when they finish their work, if you put it there, okay, next to their pictures, keep these pictures just like movable. You can just move them and put them around that kind of article. That will give them the sense of family, the sense of confidence which they needed, okay? Again, so you will be by default supporting their community of being learned. You will give them the scaffold which they need and much more of either. At the moment, I would say within, to be honest, within the COVID, okay, we can do that in the break room. I was never introduced to Zoom before just going to the online distance learning. So that will also help them again to cope with the technology and start being even leader behind the screen. Believe me, there is a lot of students who are a great leader behind the screen, better than when it's face to face, because it's really hard when you see yourself in front of a group of people. So they could lead that there. The last one, and we covered here, it's for the organization. Whenever we have that organization of the room, whenever we feel that this kind of comfortable area for our students, if I put students X with the students A, that will lead for a good education, for a good sympathy, and for a good, again, feedback. Do it. Use the friendship area. Some students, the friendship area will help them for learning, unlike others. So try to evaluate and to know that, yes, here I can touch the base and keep them. Here I have to move them to another word. So encourage them to start the conversation. Yes, that will help them, again, as we mentioned, when they are in a good kind of environment. So all these will help me as a person to make sure that I am doing my own job of learning. Now, strategies, I will just go very quickly on some of them, which we mentioned. Sorry. Peer and group work, adopt a student-centered-based language instruction approach, keep a positive relationship with all your learners. Make sure of that. Correct use of each language to maximize the impact of learning. Ask students for some time trans-languaging, okay? If a student, it doesn't need to be from different language to a different language. No, it should be within the same language sometime, okay? If a student doesn't have that amount of specific language which you need him or her to have, ask the other students sometime to give these instructions in a different or using different terms or different words. The use of gestures, yes, could be great, for example, sometime when you speak about mathematics, okay? Like the cognate use, that will also add a great amount of help for sciences, for practical work, for also for remembering word, okay? Double check, or for the reading books, that will help you more and more for your reading. Now, Mr. Vishal? Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry, just for a quick, I know we finished at 10:30, but I would excuse the participants if they have a time or if they wish, so we can continue because we started late till they join.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay?
Go ahead.
Yeah,
no problem.
Okay.
Go ahead.
We are summarizing things here. Okay, so it should be very fast. And thank you for your patience. So again, as we said, a huge amount of these benefits which we mentioned, a huge of things which you just said about the good thing. Now, I will go for the other part, which is the challenges. Now, for us, sometimes it's hard to keep the class unity, okay, to keep the class in harmony. I would like you, please, just to tell me some challenges you have gone through on the chat box. Please go to the chat box, drop me a line, one of these, like, let me call them the challenges which you have them. Of course, other than the class management, we have a lot, the culture dominance. When you see a lot of students from one area, they will try to have all others like dragged to their own culture, which could be like hard for them again to continue with that kind. So feel free to drop anything you can, it came to your work or to your mind in the chat box. So the last thing, I will say that our main responsibility is really to have the culture awareness among our students, to be knowledgeable, as we said, to the background of my students, to care, and to, this is also great words, I will say, the equity and equality and justice among my students, my learners, should be there, okay? I made that picture, I tracked it from a website, and my question, which I need you just really to take it into consideration, again, the differentiation. And this is something which we have to look forward, which is how we differentiate our learning, how we differentiate our strategies, how we differentiate our methodology, how we differentiate our work among the students to make sure that all the knowledge is just gone in the same way, in the same equal, even if it needs me some time to give extra for that. So that what we call it a differentiation and support the individual learners' needs. Now, again, we are learning them, we are teaching them how to be communicative, these skills, the social communication, okay? All of these skills will be, again, part of our teaching when we go there. The last thing for today, which is, again, like, just to design a very quick activity. I made just a quick one, which is like, this is will be aiming grade 6 to 10. The time is 10 to 20 minutes. This is for the preparation. Again, the learning is we are trying, as we said, to continue our lessons as English as a sample, giving them the definitions or the terminology, the describing, teaching them how to write the homonyms or just the language, reporting, or just the writing paragraphs. So there is a lot of things which you can use. As we said, you can use samples, different samples. You can use different pictures. You can give them the area of technology which they like to ask about it. So you may design your own one, and you may also just send it for my email. I'll be more than happy to receive any of your communication, basically directly to my email, or just you can again contact the main contact from the Classcipe. We will be more than happy to see you once again. Thank you so much. Cheers up. Sorry just for giving you 5 minutes extra. Cheers up. Have a good day. Enjoy the rest of your day. And I will be looking forward to see you once again. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.